My brother Anthony was somebody I looked up to. Me and my brothers and sisters, mom and dad, he always watched over us, no matter what. Just an all-around good guy. When I got that news, it just shook me to the core. Never thought in a million years that he wouldn't come back from it. He gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country. It's not an easy task, and he was one that's up for it.
Anthony was my little man. You know, if you're gonna raise a perfect child, he would be the one. He wasn't a whiner, he wasn't a crybaby. He loved being around people.
He never did have trouble with anybody. Everybody loved him.
Anthony was the oldest. He always just made sure you had everything that you needed.
He wanted to be a great wrestler and a ball player. I know every time I would come home on leave, I would pick Anthony for my team. The other players didn't want to see Anthony under the rim. They knew what was coming. He played defense.
We became best of friends. He always make me laugh. We was always riding around somewhere together and we just laugh and talk.
Anthony became a seaman. Working offshore, he was on 2 weeks, off a week. He had Cameron and stuff too.
He was a great father. He loved Cameron with all his heart and soul. He would be hard on him at times, but it was because he wanted to make sure Cameron understood the way of life and how to be a good child. And so in every aspect, he would just be a good father to him.
When he came home and told me he was gonna go to the military, I wasn't happy, but I have a brother that was Marine. I had a brother that was in the Navy and a brother that was in the Air Force.
And then I had two brothers that were in the Army. Father served in the Army. I kind of felt good because I got to see my brothers and what they were doing and whatnot.
I was always proud of whatever he wanted to do, as long as he took care of his son, Cam.
You seen a big change in him. After that military got hold of him, he seen things in a different light. What he was doing was something that a lot of people scared to do.
We went to basic together and deployed together, so that was great to have my brother-in-law sitting there with me. We made sure that we watched out for each other. When you sign up knowing that there's a chance that you might not make it home.
Phone rang and my son LaRon answered and he said, "Mom, somebody needs to speak to Dad." I heard him say, "Anthony Magee." And when he said Dad, I hit the floor. He said, "No, not my son Anthony."
It's one of those things that you will never forget. I never heard my daddy cry before, ever, to that day.
One of his friends told us that a missile had hit the barracks that they was in.
From what I understand, it was a surprise attack.
All he saw was a flash.
I talked to Mom and them. They said that they had to put Anthony on life support and they were flying him out to Germany to make sure he was all right.
Once we got to Germany, we wanted to go straight to the hospital. When the doctor came to us and said, he said, "Anthony is dead. He died in the field." It didn't look like anything was wrong with Ant. It looked like he was just asleep. No marks, no scratches. All they had was something around his head, bandage.
It was shrapnel.
Shrapnel. But the doctor said this. He said, he's an organ donor.
And they had to keep him on.
They had to keep him on the ventilator. Nothing wrong with his organs. What do y'all want to do? I did not want to do that. That was hard to do. I said, but that's his wishes. As a result of that, 5 people. 5 people benefited for that.
Child death is different from losing your mom, your dad, your grandma. A piece of my heart just fade away.
I had to bury my child. I ain't the same person no more. Never will be. Never will be.
When we lost Anthony, it hit home for the entire family. But through the years, we deal with it. We stay close to each other.
If they don't come here in 2 weeks, we go to LaRon's house. We'll travel to see Monica. We got to see each other.
There's times I know that they definitely show that they missing, but they'll get together and they'll just retell those stories. It might be in the 4th, 5th, 6th time, but it still come back up.
My youngest son has never met him, but we tell him things about Anthony, so he always knows who he is.
That's how we stay tight as a family and keep pushing forward.
It's hard, you know. When you're young, you lose a parent. He's a hero, a great father. Hoping I make him proud.
Anthony left a good impression on so many people. He'll never be forgotten. I'll make sure of it.
We have a whole new perspective on Memorial Day. Memorial Day will never be forgotten in this house.